Today is Easter Sunday around the world. And this is a message for Abaco on Easter, if I dare speak on the holiest of holy of days. And if I would choose for subject, I would choose the subject, stayed too long. Stayed too long, I will pick for subject on this Easter Sunday. And 35 years, to watch one man for 35 years. And most people in North Abaco thought he was a god. I used to just shake my head at the pastor. They were the worst. The pastors would tell their parishioners to pray to God whenever they want something. Whenever the members want something, pray to God. But when they want something, drop money in plate. Give a love offering throughout Abaco. And the subject I'm talking about is Hubert Ingram. And the pastors, when they see him, oh my God, he reached. Especially my pastor. Man, that used to hate me so much because this guy never got that excited about serving Jesus the Christ who was risen today. They never had the love. No pastor that I came in contact with had the love for Jesus the Christ that they had in Hubert Ingram while he was prime minister. They thought that Hubert was the Christ. And boy, did he stay too long. And I just want to show you some numbers, North Abaco. When you had somebody that used you, you imagine that this person never voted for himself in his life. Hubert Ingram has never lived in Abaco long enough to vote for himself, nor did he stay around long enough for anybody to try to get any leadership through him while he was there. He made sure. You would remind me of this prime minister from Guyana. You see, Guyana was one of the richest places in the Caribbean. They had gold, all kind of natural resources. But what the prime minister of Guyana did, he kept the people hoping to that little straw, that little hope. 5 years gone, I'll do it next time. And that's how it was with Abaco and Hubert. You couldn't get to see him, and you're hoping that God will touch his soul and to let him recognize that these people have stood with him when he was thrown to the sideline. And to add injury to insult, you imagine being there 35 years, 3-time prime minister, and nobody in your district that supported you solely for 35 years. Neither one of them could be a senator. Neither one of them that stayed, live, work, worship, voted for Hubert Ingram for 35 years wasn't good enough. The position wasn't good enough. But let me tell you how the history of Hubert started. What Hubert forgot is that Hubert didn't pick Hubert. There were some guys like Lernest Cornish that went to Old Boot, Teacher Boodle. Those of you that are old enough, you'll know who Teacher Boodle and Old Boot was. And how Hubert became the guy to succeed Old Boot, Teacher Boodle, Shervin Boodle, was because they saw that he could read. That was his only thing that he brought. He's a little ugly boy, but they recognized that he had some education. And they know that Old Boot was kind of a doting. And what Hubert forgot is that the people like Lernest Cornish, one of the head ones there, recognized that he could read. That's all he brought to the table at the time. And they picked him, Hubert Ingram, in return for Lernest Cornish and the rest of the boys picking him bringing him through because Hubert, Leonard Connors was a die-hard PLP. All the boys back then were PLP, especially them short ones. I guess they felt that they were in rank with Penland because they all were the same height. And they recognized that. And they recognized Hubert Ingram and brought him to be the nominee for the PLP North Abaco. Since that, Hubert Ingram made sure he tried his ever endeavor to make sure that nobody from Abaco would pick nobody to succeed him. He, and he alone, will do so. And I watched it. I remember when Greg Gomez came back or was sent out of America. Greg Gomez was gone 18 years. And they made sure that nobody else would get that. Hubert Ingram picked Greg Gomez after 18 years of knowing, without knowing his own relatives. I was shocked he didn't even know his first cousins. He's been gone 18 years. And then I saw Hubert Ingram down in Copistan on national TV say he didn't know that Darren Henfield was interested in frontline politics. Of course he weren't interested in frontline politics. Hubert Ingram was just interested in letting nobody from North Abaco that born there, lived there, and supported him. He made sure that neither one of them could get the nomination. So he went around like a fool. This is the guy supposed to be the godfather of politics since Penland, Hubert Ingram. And he walked around with Darren Henfield, whom he didn't know, that haven't been in Abaco for 35 years. So let's see how brilliant Hubert was. Greg being gone for 18 years, Darren being gone for 35 years. That is 53 years of none knowing Abaco. Greg was missing for 18 years. Darren has been none involved in any aspect of Abaco life in 35 years. So that's 53 years. Both of them were handpicked by Hubert Ingram. And what disturbed me back then is that Darren already knew that he was going to be a minister before he even came down and sit down with Abaco. A matter of fact, Darren Henfield couldn't even sit down at the table when the now Governor General of the Bahamas came down to Abaco, was sleeping. All he was doing is sleeping. He didn't know what's going on. I hope he's not sleeping now when the governor's mentioned, because he was a sleeper. And that is why 8 months during the holiest of holy of week, Darren Henfield has risen in the amount that he, 2 days ago, 60-some computers, used computers from Sydney Colley. That is what Abaco has been afforded. And to date, he's been braggadocious about giving 100 plate of food to the hungry and the needy. Whilst we have trailers and trailers of food, supplies that they're in of in the name of base in Nassau that were given for his people. But he hand feed them. Every now and again you see a trailer show up as Grace Baptist Church when they deliver them and they give them out to people, while all we got is a plate of food. But 8 months, every month, Darren Henfield get $2,500 for his campaign office. So if that's being closed for 8 months, you time 2,500 by 8, you come around about 20,000. You could buy whole ham, a whole turkey, and give them out to the older people. That will last longer than one plate of food. What are you doing with the money for your constituency office? This happens when you have people that had no interest in Abaco, and after being elected, no interest in Abaco. And Darren Cousin told me, say, Kai, Abaco is used to that because they're used to you but getting elected and you've seen him, you don't see him for 5 years. So Darren is just following suit to what Abaco is used to. But what he cousin don't know, that Abaco is finally tired of that type of representation, especially during the most horrific time in their lives when we being hit with a triple whammy. Hurricane Dorian, the virus, and this F&M government and Darren Henfield. That is a triple whammy. If we and when we come back from this, we'll be the strongest people in the Caribbean. So my Easter message for North Abaco, hold on. It ain't too long. We're going to see the end of the rainbow. But you got to hold on. What we're getting is lukewarm and most time non-representation. We ought to have better. We should have better if we have a government and an MP that care. I told you 10 years ago, Kai cares. I will always be here. And I am here. And Darren is just arriving to date with one plate of food for 100 people. We deserve more than a plate of food on Easter. All we want to concentrate on is the risen Christ, the risen Savior. Thank you for your plate of food, but we are focusing on the Christ child and his descending into heaven. Kai cares, and I'm still here while Darren Henfield has been missing. Happy Easter. Hold on. Representation, true representation is on the way. Kai cares. I am still here.